Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the BL Show. And for our second segment, we have a phenomenal serial entrepreneur here with you. And that is none other than CEO of Azure College, Mr. Jhonson Napoleon. How are you, Jhonson?
I am doing great.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so very much for accepting to come on our show. We know that you are live every single day on social media, sharing wisdom, sharing concepts, sharing ideas, giving free ideas to other entrepreneurs and small business owners. So we really wanted to get you on the show during COVID-19 to share some best practices and to find out a little bit more about you and what you're doing.
It's an honor, especially now I can sit in my house and then be able to talk to you wherever you are in the world. It's a new world. It's a new opportunity. It's a new discovery. So I'm happy to not only be with you, but being able to witness the history in the making.
Excellent, Jhonson. And so we're going to go right into it. You know, everybody has a story, right? So today we would like for you to share a little bit about your story and what led you down the path of entrepreneurship.
Um, that that story started when I was 12 years old. My aunt sent me a bike, and I fixed it, put it together, and were able to read the manuals and see how I could repair my own bikes. Come to find out, in the area where I was, we had just having started getting to bring bikes down in my area back in 1985, and then I started fixing bikes, and we upgraded this into buying coffee beans. And when I come to United States, that thirst to be an entrepreneur started by me working as a security guard for 1 year, and then I switched to get my real estate license, and then I become a real estate agent, a real estate broker, a mortgage broker, a real estate auctioneer. I have my auction license, and a real estate developer that built properties, and it snowballed into what I am now. And honest to God, I don't know anything else. As I was telling you earlier today, I love the stability and the instability entrepreneurship can bring to you. I enjoy the challenges. I enjoy the changes. I think I was made for it. So that's how it started, and that's the story in a minute.
Wow. Jhonson, I know that I myself and everyone else who's watching, everyone wants to know, what is your secret for success?
Patience. I wish I had more of it in my. I wish, first of all, I knew this thing existed when I was 20. Being patient. The Bible talk about it. We all talk about it all the time. And being a son of a peasant, and that's seen when you plant a corn or something. You have to be patient to see the fruit of your labor. But in business, I think you have to be patient. You have to understand, especially if you're dealing with a regulation heavy business like a school, a for-profit education school. Sometimes you don't accomplish all you want in 1 year. You live to live another day. You live to die another day. That's what I love to say. So you have to be patient. The other thing is having a keen sense of who you are. For example, I'm finding myself now doing this interview in English. It's a very, very complicated thing for me because I don't feel truly comfortable doing my videos in English. That's the reason why you don't hear me doing my videos in English. I don't know the subject very, very well about the American community. So I don't do videos to target American community. I do talk about the Haitian community very, very well because I know them. So having a sense of who you are, knowing who you are and what you can talk with authority on it, I think that's one of the other things for key of success. And lastly, understand there's a higher power. In my case, I know God exists. I surrendered my life to him, and I let him lead me. And I've always loved to say that we are a puppet in the hands of a puppet master. So once you understand you don't have control of everything, then you kind of humbled yourself, and that give you patience and of course know who you are. And I'm sure that's to me, those are the keys that allows me to be successful.
Wow, well said. Well said. Let's talk COVID-19. I know that way before this virus hit the United States, you warned your followers about what you saw was happening in China. And you basically warned Americans that we should take this very seriously and not just look as if it's just happening over there, but to prepare ourselves just in case it actually crossed over and knocked on our door. During this time, and being such a frequent visitor of China, what have you learned about the virus thus far?
First of all, I not truly the virus, because as I love to say in my videos that I'm beyond the virus now. I'm personally, I'm doing all I can to make sure that I don't catch it, that I survived it. But I'm looking beyond the virus. I'm looking at what can we do as business leaders and after the virus to stay alive and to be able to exist, but not only exist but thrive after the virus. I've been going to China since 2008, at least twice a year. In 2019, I went to China 4 times in 2019. So a few things I've realized about China. China is not that big of a country as we all think. I've always loved to tell people when you visit China, you realize China is a huge welding factory. China basically don't make most of the things that China makes. Those are assembly. China really don't make much of those things. They are starting making things, but when, like, for example, you buy a machine in China, they would tell you the engine is made in Japan, the transmission is made in the United States, but the framing is made in China. So they assemble things. The second thing is when you go to China, you start looking outside of Shanghai or the Guangzhou or the Beijing big metropolitan areas. When you go to Hunan province, China is just that, a province, a very poor country inside. Like people don't have washing machines. They're making washing machine to sell by boatload to people, but a lot of people don't have washer and dryer inside their homes. And you see people still carrying things on their backs, working. So China, it's true, you have a 1.5 billion people country, but you have about 400-500 million that are pretty much settled, but you're still left with 1 billion that's still in poverty. So I knew also the world was a global village, because you can jump on a flight here in Miami and then land in Dallas, Texas, and 12 hours later you land in China, and New York is about 11 hours. So I knew it's a matter of time before someone would drop in a plane and then that thing would land here. The second thing is Twitter at that time was a very good place for me to learn, because while everyone was looking at CNN to give you information and Fox News, those are when you are someone that well-traveled like me, you understand CNN and Fox News or NBC, whatever the names is, they just care about America. They don't care about the world. So when you go on Twitter, since January, there was this hashtag China virus. Once you start looking at China virus and you start looking at what's happening in China, you know it was a matter of time. But when you start looking at it also, you realize they closed a city like Wuhan. I've been to Wuhan twice. And a city of 22 million people is locked down. And I've been talking to a few friends of mine. They never let them out in Guangzhou and those other cities. You realize also China, who integrated WTO, the World Trade Organization, and just 10 years ago, China would not be able to sustain that kind of brutal economic crash without imposing a recession on the world or without transmitting this disease to other people. So that's how I was able in February to kind of tell my people, listen, 35% of what China produces landed in America. So if China cannot produce for the next 2 months, then guess what's going to happen? America is going to be in recession. And I talked about if we did not close the country, then the disease will land here. And honest to God, I did not see it that hard. But again, like you said, again, my prediction came true, sadly enough.
Yes, sadly enough, sadly enough. Currently, as an entrepreneur, how is COVID-19 affecting your businesses?
Um, Not really. I am I am in sectors that people need. For example, right now I'm in nursing education. People need nurses. New York is paying nurses $10,000 a week to come to be a nurse, to work as a nurse in New York. I am in technology training. You see what's going on now with technology. People are the churches are using Facebook to do services. So instead of people pulling back, people realize, listen, more than 22 million people lost their job. Unemployment is going to be off the roof after this coronavirus things. A lot of people are going to be without job. A lot of jobs going to be digital. So people are coming to me to be trained in digital, and people are coming to be trained in medical. In Chile, my business is about selling food. We are what we call, how do you call it, necessity. The government give a name for it. As a matter of fact, Chile even give us a special permit so our employees can come to work so we can sell food. During this period now, I take advantage of this to launch two brand name of products, Kolashokun and Wamku. Those are things that people still use in spite, no matter what, people still eat. So I am in education, I'm in healthcare, I'm on a few radio stations, I'm on communication. All those are necessities for COVID-19. So basically, I'm not affected. But if my community is affecting, like for example, in Key West, last Sunday, I finished my live Facebook and I said, anyone that have a needs, I'm sending $50 to 50 people by Cash App. We end up sending $50 to 112 people. And the last 12 people were in Key West, Florida. Come to find out, Key West is completely closed down. And most of the people working in the restaurants, in the back end of the restaurant or the hotels cleaning, they are Haitian in Key West, Florida. So the situation is really tough for them. So you have to have empathy for those people who lost their jobs, especially those single mom in the community who has children in their homes. In the morning, they would wake up, they would give them some cornflakes, some breakfast, and then they went to school and they have lunch at the school, sometimes additional things to eat throughout the day. By the time they get home, they didn't care about mommy's food. But now you have those kids at home with mommy. Mommy lost her job. Child support did not come. A government check is already there to pay rent. And then those children, they eat a lot. So you have to feel bad for people that are in such situations. So my business is not affected, but my community is affecting. And therefore, I think I'm affecting too.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I think about this time that we're going through, and I really see, like as you stated, I see the opportunities and I see the possibilities of what tomorrow can be. What are some advice that you can have for individuals that are literally sitting at home right now doing nothing? You know, just going through social media or watching a YouTube channel or binging on Netflix. What advice would you give them?
Stop doing this. Stop. Um, you have, you have a bunch of people that keep complaining about, I did not have time, that's why I cannot go to school. Stop watching YouTube. Stop even watching Facebook. Stop, unless you're watching something good like this one. Harvard University put all their courses online for free. Go and take a course at Harvard. Myself, I'm taking two. CompTIA put all their computer network courses online for free. Go and take some classes. You have udemy.com that are selling top beautiful courses that you're going to need, like online marketing, stock trading. Any one of those courses that you need are $14.99 or $9.99. Takes this time to take like 5, 6, 7 certifications, especially in things digital, so you can come out of this thing and get another job or continue working from home. People going to need online marketers. People going to need salespeople that knows marketing. So retrain yourself. while you're sitting during those days. Don't be binging on Netflix. Don't be watching CNN. Stop worrying. Live a life, because there will be life after coronavirus. Coronavirus will be gone, but you want to make sure you thrive after this moment.
Let me ask you this. How is the COVID-19 affecting your family life right now?
I'm getting to know them. One of them is right there on the bed. I'm getting to know them because, as you know, last year I traveled more than 150,000 miles around the world. American Airlines sent me a report telling me I flew an equivalent of 5 times around the world with American Airlines only, and this was not the only airline that I flew. So by not flying, by not traveling, I get to spend more time with them. They are online taking school classes, so I get to know them, and I get to see one of them. My 15 years old is getting taller, even taller than me. I'm seeing him wearing my shirts. I'm noticing things that I did not have time to notice. So I'm having a boom. I'm having a great time with the family.
Awesome, awesome. And for those that are not necessarily enjoying the time with the family right now, what are some words of advice that you can give them, or what is the perspective that they should have during this time?
You cannot love someone without liking someone. If you don't like a person, there's no way you're going to love them. I know divorce is a very bad word, a very tough one. I hate divorce, but maybe some people will finally take a good look at themselves and realize, listen, I just spent 3 weeks, 4 weeks with you in a house. I realized I did not like you, even less loving you, and my children is having stress on them because we just did not like each other. We were going through life. By the time you get home, you were too tired to argue with me. By the time I get home, I'm too tired to even noticing your flaws. Now I'm seeing them and make the hard decisions. And look, I know many of us in the Haitian community don't believe in mental issues. Look for help. I'm sure there are a lot of helps available. Technology allows you to see an expert, a psychiatrist, or one of those family therapists. Reach out. And right now it can be free, and it can be over your telephone with a FaceTime call or WhatsApp call. So reach out and see what you can do to help and save your family if there's room for saving it. If there's not room, then make the hard decision. I think we need to start looking at ourselves, especially the religious one. They are the most unhappy people sometimes that I see. I was raised in the church. I'm a Christian, but sometimes you have a bunch of family that stick together just because of religion or society, not even religion, society. So take a hard look at yourself and look for help. And if help cannot help, so make the hard decision. That's what I would tell them.
Thank you so very much, Jhonson. Again, we appreciate you taking your time to be on the show. We know that there is a lot of time nowadays, but I'm sure you could have found something else. So we really appreciate the time that you shared with you. And we're just going to give you some final words. What would you like to share?
The final word is someone that have a business in this community, especially now. I think it's very important that you over communicate. Like, if you have people working from home, make sure you over communicate. Like myself, for example, my students at Azure, every week I have a Zoom chat called Chat with the President. I just open it up, and sometimes 20 people show up, sometimes 100 shows up, and ask me any questions you want, any. And I give them my emails, I give them my cell phone, so we can communicate. Be empathic to people. Like, you cannot be bullying, trying to sell all the time. You cannot be on radio now talking about, oh, come fill your taxes, or come buy this, come buy that. I think you need to acknowledge people are suffering out there if you're in business. If those people that have online businesses take some time now to create great content, put out there. Like myself, my Facebook page, I dare someone to show up on my Facebook page not to learn anything. You're learning something each time I show up. Every time I speak, every time I post something, I'm giving you content so you can learn. Build a great email list. If you're in business, you need to have a good email list so you can, because everything is going to transform into digital. If you have a Haitian restaurant now, you need to build an email list and you need to have a great delivery system. And of course, lastly, I would suggest to try to buy other businesses, because you have other businesses that are going to fold, other companies like you in taxes. So let's start looking at some long-time tax people that have a great database of clients. They want to sell. Maybe they don't want to sell you the business, but they want to sell you their database. So in the next 2 years, you share the profit revenue with them. So try to do those things, because at the end of it, we will survive. At the end of it, many people will fold. And if you're going to exist, then make sure you exist stronger than you entered Corona.
Excellent, Jhonson. Thank you so very much. It was a pleasure to have you. We pray that you will continue to be safe and that God will continue to use you as He has been for the last couple of years. Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night.
We'll be right back.